Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, and warm welcome to this particular webinar, that is event-driven architecture. So that is a webinar. I will welcome to everyone to this particular webinar. And definitely, guys, you are going to have some learning in your career. Definitely, this webinar is going to help you. Whatever every day as a software professional, every day is a learning curve for everyone. So today, definitely in this good weather, in especially in Hyderabad, good rains and very fantastic weather, and definitely upcoming couple of hours, definitely will make you a good learning for your career. So that's what I can assure you. So a small introduction from my side. I'm sorry. My name is Vijay Kumar. I'm working as an architect. Currently, I'm working having 17.9 years of experience overall, and currently working with Ashok IT in the morning sessions and evening sessions. Currently, I'm handling the batches, SpringBoot and microservices, design patterns in microservices, Angular and React. These are the current courses which I'm working with Ashok IT in the morning and evening. A small description about my side, and I request everyone, all participants, please follow this channel. Please follow this channel. And this is a WhatsApp community where you can join this particular channel. Okay. And you will get all frequent updates like any this webinars or kind of any workshops or any new batches, anything what is happening in Ashok IT, you'll definitely hear us. Okay. So requesting everyone, will not throw any spam into that particular community. Just our Ashok IT updates, you are going to get it. So this is a thing here. So we'll start our session, guys. Unlike my other sessions, this session is a real-time oriented session where we are going to see the code as well as we are going to see the complete execution end to end. Definitely, you will have some knowledge on this particular session. So the topic of this is a event-driven architecture using microservices. In microservices. So to be really honest with everyone, a lot of people, even having good experience also, they cannot answer properly why we need an event-driven architecture. What is the use of an event-driven architecture? If I don't have event-driven architecture in microservices, what is the loss to my business? If I have event-driven architecture, what is the advantage for me? This is a good interview question. Out of 100, maybe 1 to 5, 1 or 2 or 3, less than 0.05% only can answer this question effectively. This is a honestly answer. We can give a number of answers, but that does not give a clear meaning of what exactly event-driven architecture. Why do we need event-driven architecture? The straightforward point is, okay, if we don't have event-driven architecture, or else if we can't use an event-driven architecture in our project or in our product, what is the loss? What exactly the drawback? Or if I use an event-driven architecture, okay, what is the advantage? So this is the area, this is the subject I want to give you a good understanding of everyone. I mean, good understanding I will give you on this particular topic, not only theory point of view, as well as hands-on and execution point of view, end to end, you will get a good picture. This is what today's webinar or a workshop complete agenda. Okay. So I hope everyone got a clarity of what exactly we are going to discuss further and what is the complete details on this. Okay. So agenda as part of this particular meeting, agenda is typically overview of event-driven architecture. Sir, why do we need, what is the event-driven architecture? What exactly the meaning of event-driven architecture? Can we apply event-driven in microservices? Why? If so, what is the advantage? Okay, first we are going to discuss what exactly the meaning of an event-driven architecture. And after discussing this, hey, can we apply this particular pattern or can we apply this design in our microservices architecture in our product? If so, what is the advantage? Next. Okay, sir. Now we got clarity on event-driven. Now we thought of using. Now, how to demonstrate? A use case. We are going to take a use case like e-commerce framework. Why e-commerce framework? Best fit. Event-driven architecture is best fit for e-commerce framework. Okay. E-commerce framework use case. I'm going to showcase a e-commerce framework use case. And code walkthrough, the scenario. We are going to see the code. And finally, execution of the use case. Finally, if any question answers will come. Okay. So what I'm requesting, guys, this is my agenda for today's webinar. Okay. Just I'll repeat once again. Few people are joining just now. So event-driven architecture overview. And is that event-driven architecture, can I apply in microservices architecture? If you apply, what is the advantage? If you don't apply, what is the disadvantage? And we are going to demonstrate using a real-time e-commerce framework use case. And we are going to see the code and completely execution of the use cases. And finally, with question and answers. So I request everyone, please, any questions you put on the chat window, I can take it at an appropriate time. You cannot expect immediately answer, sir. Okay. Immediately you cannot expect answer. This workshop is only one day, today only. This is a workshop is only for today. Okay. Right. So before I proceed further on this, right? Before I proceed further on this, so there are two announcements I want to announce. There are two announcements I want to make, sir. The one announcement is my batch is getting started. SpringBoot and microservices. I'm going to start a new batch. SpringBoot and microservices. 4th September. That is Friday. I'm going to announce on 4th September. I feel maybe I'll double check on the date. I think it's 4th September. And also, give me 1 second. Sorry, 1st September. I'm really sorry. I'm missing. That's what I'm surprised. Sorry. 1st September, which is on Tuesday. And microservices design patterns I'll start in second week of September. I may start microservices design part. No date announced yet. Okay. So these are my upcoming batches, which I'm going to follow. Now, just like we'll see this particular webinar and where we are going to see. Okay, these are the announcement which I want to make it. The timings are 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I know it's a difficulty in the early morning. Okay, but that is how we are going to see 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. IST. Right. Now, we'll go into the topic, guys. We are going to go further on this. Overview of an event-driven architecture, guys. Okay. Overview on an event-driven architecture. What is the meaning of event-driven? So event-driven, what exactly the meaning is? Developer will write a code. Developer will write a code. And this code will be executed. And this code will be executed through an event that is called as event-driven architecture. Event is driving. Event is driving. For example, car is there. Driver is driving the car. Correct, right? Car is there. Driver is driving the car. Complete car is in the hold of driver. If you want to start, if you want to stop, if you want to increase the speed, if you want to decrease the speed, whatever it may be. In the similar way, I wrote some code. Okay? That code will be executed through an event. Definitely an event should be there. What is an event here? Okay? Button click is an event. I clicked the button. That's an event. Drop down change. That's an event. Page load is an event. Radio change, an event. Reload, an event. Right, sir? These are the sum of the events, guys. So, for example, I opened Amazon. I added some products in the cart. I click on order button. I click on order button. So developer is writing some code in placing the order, right? That code will be executed only when the button is clicked. For example, if the button is not clicked, then the code will not be executed, right, guys? The code will not be executed, right? The code will be executed only when the button is clicked. When a drop down value is changed, then only, for example, I selected, there is a government website. Okay. First, I'll select states. I'll select state. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, like that. I have states, right? If I select a state, definitely the districts in the state will be populated, right? In the other drop down. Whatever the districts are available in the state, those districts will be populated in other drop down. When I change the value in the drop down, when I change the state, the values in the other drop down will be changed. And if I select a district, then in other drop down, mandals. If I select a particular mandal, villages will come. This is a hierarchy, right? State, districts, mandals, villages. These all code will be executed only when I select an item in the drop down. Right? Yes or no, guys? Right. Radio change. For example, in my e-commerce framework, I want to display electronics category. I have a radio button. If I select electronics category, all electronic item will be rendered or displayed. If I select electric products, all electric products will be displayed. So that is a radio change. Now, when a page is loading, load is an event. Whenever www.amazon.com is launched, what information I want to project, or what information I want to display, that is a load. So what is the event-driven architecture, guys? Whatever the code that is written by the developer, that will be executed through an event, that is called as an event-driven architecture. Guys, I will never go through the bookish definitions. I'll never go to the technical definitions. I will always use whatever we learned as part of our career. That is the interesting factor in interview also. If interviewer is asking question, what is event-driven architecture? Rather than giving a technical definition, I don't know the technical definition. This is what I know, and I'm telling this. Based on that, your confidence level, your technical skills, and your skill set, that will resembles to the interviewer. Okay? So that's what I mean to say, that always, please, who are job seekers, nowadays, market is very, very in tough situation. You need to have a good knowledge. That should be proven. Then only it's easy to crack the interview. Okay? Please always don't go to bookish definition. Hey, what is this Vijay is telling? Developer is writing some code that will be executed. No, all this is the right way to present in the interview. Then only you will understand that interviewer that you are a real-time guy. Okay? Right. Now, this is a meaning of event-driven architecture. So based on that, this event-driven architecture typically only can it be applied only on front end. Based on this, what I can say, can this architecture can be applied only on front end? In this architecture can be applied only on front end? Yes. Ideally, this architecture brought up into IT when jQuery, just like in the olden days of front end, we have a JavaScript. After that, jQuery is introduced. jQuery is created based on event-driven architecture. Okay? What event is going to perform? That event should be triggered with the jQuery library. Yes, this architecture is created and using for front-end frameworks. Front-end frameworks like JavaScript, jQuery, AngularJS, Angular, Marionette, Backbone, React, Go, Vue.js. All these are the front-end frameworks, guys. In all these frameworks, we can use event-driven architecture. Okay? This is fair enough, guys. Understand, right? So the first topic of my agenda, overview of event-driven architecture, guys. What is the overview means? Just like we are going to write a code snippet, that code will be executed only the respective associated event will be triggered. Then only the code will be executed. That is the meaning of an event-driven architecture. Now, can we apply in microservices or can we apply in backend? Can we apply this in backend? Can we apply this in backend? Backend is what? What is the meaning of backend? completely in the background, where you don't have an event, you don't have a front end, completely is in the back end, right? Just like a small example, guys. I'm telling a small example. Back end means, for example, you are doing a fund transfer, NEFT, RTGS, or IMPS. You are doing a fund. Okay, forget about that. You are doing a Google Pay. The best example is Google Pay, right? You want to transfer the money to Google Pay to another person. Okay. Even you go to tea shop or coffee shop, you'll scan the Google Pay scanner and you'll pay 20 or 30 rupees to him, right? Once you click done, that's it. In the background, Google Pay, you're only on click even what you're going to do. You're giving instructions to Google Pay. Please pay the money to the vendor. But Google Pay in the background, it will send the communication to the vendor, right? So do you have any control in the backend? Do you have any control in the backend, guys? We don't have a control in the backend. Only event is only front end, but we don't have a control in the backend. Correct, right? By seeing the picture, by seeing the visualization side, for example, you are doing a RTGS transfer. You want to do a fund transfer from one account to another account. You will submit the request to your bank. Correct, right? You will submit the request to your bank. Banker will do in a background. Do you have any control in that backend? Do you have control in the backend? No control, right, guys? Isn't it, guys? So, is there any possibility of applying event-driven architecture in the backend? Is there any possibility? Based on whatever so far we discussed, it is not applicable. We can directly say that we cannot apply. Why we cannot apply? It should be associated to an event. Who will perform the event? End user, a customer, a user. But this entire operations on microservices is on backend, where we don't have control. We don't have any control on the backend. But can we apply? We cannot apply. But slowly, when the initial days of backend, we didn't apply event-driven architecture, guys. Okay? When days are going on, then we slowly adopted to event-driven architecture. Small example, we are using telephones just like 15 years back, landline phones. At that time, mobile phone came into picture, right, guys? Mobile phone. The stone mobile phone, something like very high weight stone, something, right? Even fell from 4th floor, 2nd floor, nothing will happen to the mobile. And at that time, can we think of all people are using mobile? That time, incoming charges also cost actually. Incoming call also will cost, right? Low people adapt to that particular cellular. Slowly, when the days are going on, the features of mobile, all people attracted. Slowly, telecom providers also, they change the tariff rates. And slowly, once iPhone changed the world of mobile, correct, right? Have you attended the iPhone launch? Okay, he told 3 things, right? In iPhone launch. A powerful camera, unlimited music, and 24 hours of phone. All people think that there are 3 different devices. Please we watch this whatever YouTube iPhone launch. The guy who represented Steve Jobs, right? He told that he is going to introduce 3 devices. I mean 3 use case. Okay, unlimited music, camera, as well as phone. All 3 in one device. That's why phone. Then he completely he changed the world of mobiles. Okay. So in the similar way, in the initial days, guys, no one is adopting microservices architecture with event-driven flow. But I'm going to showcase an example. I'm going to showcase an example. What is the purpose of event-driven architecture? Okay. What is the purpose of event-driven architecture? I'm going to showcase an example. That example is typically on a e-commerce framework. Okay. Typically on an e-commerce framework here, guys. Now, what exactly the use case is? What exactly the use case is? So, Mr. Vijay logged in into Amazon, ordered iPhone latest version, added to the added to the iPhone to the cart, added the iPhone to the cart, and he has completed his payment. He completed his payment. What is the scenario, sir? Mr. Vijay logged into Amazon and he has selected iPhone in the cart and he completed his payment. Once the payment is completed, on post payment, what's going to happen, sir? On post payment, what's going to happen, sir? Typically, email. Vijay will get an email, right, guys? To his registered email ID. Sir, this is what your order, and this is order is completed, and we'll start the shipment all. Okay, that's the first one. Second one, Vijay will get SMS to his registered mobile number. That right? You'll also get SMS, right, guys? Yes, you got your product is been successfully ordered, and this is what your order number, and this is what your tracking details. Something like you will get an SMS. Next, shipment will start. Today is the date, and it will reach to nearest hub, and it will give us some description at what time the product will reach you. That is shipment process, right? Where we can say that shipment process. Next, stock inventory. Updation. Updating to inventory. Stock updation. Once Vijay is successfully ordered the iPhone, they need to decrease the quantity, right? Yes or no? It's ordered is placed, they need to decrease the quantity, right, guys? So there are a lot of things are there, but I am focusing on these 4 points, guys, here. There are a lot of things are there in the background. Just I am focusing these points, guys. Okay? So what is the scenario, guys? Mr. Vijay is logged into Amazon. He added iPhone to the cart and he completed his payment here. On successful payment, on post payment, payment is success, guys. I am taking a use case. On successful payment, Vijay will get an email to his registered email ID. Vijay will get an SMS to his registered mobile number. Shipment process will be started, as well as inventory update, where I'm going to update the stock. This is my use case, guys. Understand use case, everyone? I hope clear, simple use case. Very, very simple use case here. Now, if it is technical part here, if I am going to a technical part over here, like microservices world, I need to implement this use case in a microservices world. I want to implement this in a microservices world here, right? How many microservices I am going to take, sir? If I want to implement the same use case in microservices world, how many microservices I'll take, sir? Order microservice. That's first one, right? What order microservice is going to do that? Process payment. It should process the payment, right? Next. Email microservice. Send email. SMS microservice. Send SMS. Stock microservice. Update inventory. Shipment microservice. Shipment microservice. Shipment. So this is what I'm going to write 5 microservices. Okay. One microservice, order microservice, which is going to take care of order processing. Email microservice, which is going to take care of emails are processing. SMS, where we are going to take care of SMS processing. And stock microservice is going to update the inventory. And finally, shipment microservice is going to start the shipment. Right? So we are going to use 5 microservices. I hope everyone got a scenario, what exactly I'm explaining, and the technical part, how many microservices we need to use. What is a microservice, guys? Why we need to take only 5 microservices? We are going to decompose, or we are going to divide the application into smaller units where each and every unit should be independent, autonomous, every independent unit. And if one unit is having a problem, it should not impact the other units. That is a principle of microservice. That is a behavior of microservice. That is a fundamental characteristics of microservice, right? Based on that, I have divided this particular scenario into 5 microservices: order microservice, email microservice, SMS microservice, stock microservice, as well as shipment microservice. Make sense? Everyone is clear? Right. Now, this is a scenario, guys. What sort of code I am going to write, sir? Now we will write a pseudo code. I am going to write a draft code over here. Okay. What is the code I am going to write here? First code. Order microservice dot Java. Or order microservice within service layer or somewhere else. Order microservice dot Java. Within order microservice dot Java. What sort of code I will write, sir? Okay. I'll write on a post payment method, or else process payment. API name is process payment. Okay. This is a typical API on this process payment API. Let me put it here. Show that. Right. What code I am going to write here? If order object dot get payment object dot get status is equal to success. If order object dot get payment object dot get status, which is equal to success. What I need to do here? Post payment processing. Post payment processing logic. What is my post payment processing? We need to invoke stock service. We need to invoke email service. We need to invoke SMS service. We need to invoke shipment service. 4 microservices we need to invoke. Right? That's what the logic, right, guys? So we need to invoke 4 microservices: email, SMS, stock, as well as shipment. Total 4 microservices we need to invoke. What is the best way to invoke microservices in SpringBoot? I can use web client, I can use fin client, I can use REST template. Any of the thing is fine, sir. There are a couple of flavors are there. Web client is there, REST template is there, fin client is there. Any of the things you can use here. Okay. So what is the code I am going to write here? REST template dot change. Okay. First, HTTP. Okay. Amazon.com:9090/ okay, email service. We are going to invoke with order object. With order JSON. Where at the rate of request body with order.json. I'm going to send the order.json with Amazon.com:9090 email service. Send email. This is a first invocation. Next invocation, guys. This is the next invocation. SMS service. Send SMS. Same request body with order.json. Next. Here, shipment service dot shipment. Right? Yeah. Sir, anything we can use, sir. Web client, that's what I told, right? Sir, anything we can use. Web client, fin client, anything we can use. Okay. So please don't worry on which one we'll use. Some framework we are using to communicate. After that, last but not least, stock service. Date inventory. And that's it. There ends the matter. This is a draft code which I'm going to write here. This is a draft code which I'm going to write here. Once my payment is completed, we need to communicate email service. We need to communicate SMS service. We need to communicate shipment service. We need to communicate stock service. Something like that we are going to use here. Okay. Now, you may get it out. Sir, every microservice is on different port number, but uses all the same port numbers. What is this? You should have an idea, right, guys? Where you are going to Eureka registering, from Eureka registry to gateway, and gateway to respect to microservice. Everyone knows that architecture, right? So centralized point will not hard code or will not use the directly the port number of a specific microservice, guys. Will not use the port number of a specific microservice. We are going to point to Eureka, from Eureka to gateway, and from gateway to this. That's it. Okay. Just I thought of giving. So we are writing same port number for all. That's, I mean, because of our Eureka registry and gateway. Okay. Right. Now this is a code, guys. Do you see any problem with this code? I'm not talking about if I use REST template, any problem. If I use Fin client, any problem. Not like that. Based on this particular code, do you see any problem? Now, what code will be there in email service? Email, sending an email logic. SMS, sending SMS logic. Shipment, start shipment. Update inventory, update. So the respective logic will be there in that specific microservice. In every microservice, we are going to do that. And I wrote this. Everything is good, right, guys? There is no problem, right? Once order is payment completed, I'm calling email service, I'm calling SMS service, I'm calling shipment service, I'm calling stock service. Right? Now, I'll explain the problem now. Now I'm going to explain a problem, guys. What is the use of event-driven architecture? That is what I'm about to explain. Okay? So far, just like to recap what I discussed so far is, Mr. Vijay is placing an order, and on post payment, Amazon flow is customer should get an email, customer should get an SMS, and customer should start, I mean, shipment process should start, and that should be notified to customer, and Amazon should update the inventory. This is the scenario where we are going to implement. We are going to create 5 microservices. One service is auto microservice that is take care of order processing, email microservice that send the email, SMS service that's going to send an SMS, and stock service that's going to send a stock, and shipment service it's going to start the shipment. Okay, and this is the pseudo code which I write over here, where once we have a order object dot payment object dot status is equal to success, where we need to communicate this particular data here. Okay, but do you see any problem with this architecture, guys? No problem. I feel no problem, right? All microservices I'm communicating, and everything looks good. There is no problem here. Now, I will explain a scenario how the problem is going to start. Okay? How the problem is going to start, I'll explain a scenario. Guys, in the meanwhile, if any people having questions, you can put on the chat window, right, guys? Okay? Yep. Sir, event-driven, message-driven. Akash, mostly same, sir. There is no some kind of, okay? Mostly same. There is no difference here. Okay, that is the only question I got it, guys. Yeah, maybe I thought of taking any questions in the meanwhile, but I got only technical question. Event-driven, message-driven. Mostly same. Okay? We call event-driven in the front end, message-driven in the back end. That's the only synonym. So mostly they are going to be same. Okay. Yeah. Now, after that, I'm going to explain a scenario. Now, this code is moved to production, guys. Okay? This code is moved to production. And it works fine. Everything is working fine. But after few months, there is a scenario. Okay? For example, now this is the rainy season, right? Once you open Amazon, what are the popular products now in Amazon, guys? At this moment, rainy season, umbrellas, raincoats, geysers. Am I right, guys? Just like we look for these immediate items, right, guys? Just like they are the popular right now. umbrellas, raincoats, and mostly geysers and some kind of fast food. Okay, yes. But fast food, Amazon is not there. Okay, right here. Now, for example, I'll take umbrella, sir. Okay, business. Now I'm talking as a business owner. Now I'm taking a scenario as a part of business owner. As part of business owner, what he'll do here? His target is he need to achieve these many sales. So making sure that what is the customer is looking, keeping that looking items in the inventory, protecting, providing discounts to the customer, attracting the customers, and shipment, doing the shipment very quickly and taking the reviews and making sure that environment friendly, customer friendly, business friendly, all friendly nature. That is the business owner responsibility. Right? Now, today, there are only 50 umbrellas are there in my inventory. I cannot keep more umbrellas also because just 2-3 days back, heavy, no rain at all. 2-3 days back, is any rain? Completely heat, right? Even we need to switch on AC. Am I right, guys? While sleeping, we need to switch on AC. Just I'm talking 2-3 days back. I have 50 umbrellas. I feel that rains are not coming. This 50 is sufficient for me because I cannot keep more inventory. I don't have much place, right? In my warehouse, I don't have much place. My warehouse should be, I need to take the items only which are really required, which are business driven products. Now rains are not coming. So that's why 50 umbrellas are there that I didn't order the umbrellas owner and 50 is there. I kept there. Now completely weather is changed from yesterday. Right? There are only 50 are available in my inventory. 500 people are asking. We have a notify button, right, guys? In Amazon, we have a notify. Currently out of stock. Click on notify. Will update you once the stock is arrived. Correct, right? That button is not for our purpose. The button is for business purpose. How many people are looking for that product? They need to know the count. Is it one customer or two customers or lot of customers, right? So what I mean to say that here, they are going to notify 500 to 1,000 customers range are looking for that product here. Umbrella product, 500 to 1,000 customers are looking. Now only 50 are available here. Okay. So he is losing 450 orders. Correct, right? He is losing 450 orders. He is losing 450 umbrellas business. It's not a problem with him because there is a sudden weather change. No one predicted the weather, and that is correct, right? As a real business guy, he need to capture the market, right? 450 people should not go to Flipkart or should not go to other commerce platform, right? Because if the product is not available and it's really recommended, I can order in other website, right? What is the point he'll do here? If I order today, I'll get tomorrow 5,000 umbrellas to my warehouse. If I order today, 1,000 umbrellas I can order. Right? But can I order blindly? I don't know tomorrow's weather. Tomorrow completely, again, rain is completely stopped and heavy summer, some will get a, okay? What he want to do here? He want to capture the market as well as he cannot take a wrong decision. What do you want to do here? I don't want the update inventory immediately once the payment is completed. Okay? We don't want to update the inventory after the payment is completed. Okay? I have 50 umbrellas, right? What I want to do here, I don't want to update the inventory. I don't want to update the inventory post payment. During post payment, I don't want to update the inventory so that inventory is available for me. I will take all the orders. I will take all the orders. Based on the orders, I will tell the shipment date. Day after tomorrow, I will deliver you. Or 2 days, I will deliver you. I will give a communication at the time of ordering. Okay? If inventory is not there, I cannot take the order. Correct, right? If inventory is not there, I cannot take the order, guys. I cannot take the order if inventory is not there. I can only take the order. I can only take the order when the inventory is available. I can take only the order when the inventory is available for me. Right? So what I am trying to say here typically, I will make sure that I will take all the orders, guys. I will take all the orders. I'll update the at the time of shipment. Delivery date is 2-3 days, and I'll take all orders. I don't want to keep any pending order. I don't want to keep any pending orders so far. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here, I don't want to keep any pending orders. And I'll take all the orders, guys. So that he is not stopping the business at any case. He is not at all stopping the business at any case. And based on the orders, he is taking orders, right, guys? Based on the orders, he is going to take the business here. So that is what the alternative he is thinking, guys. That's a typical alternative he is thinking over here, guys. Okay. Let me repeat, sir. Just like I thought of simulating a scenario because I want to explain something. I want to simulate that scenario, guys. What I want to simulate here, just like as there are only few umbrellas are available here, and I will take only the orders. I will stop the inventory updation. During post payment, I will stop the inventory updation. I will send an email. I will send SMS. I will start the shipment. But shipment is for the new 450 orders. For other the other orders, I will tell clearly 2 days is the shipment process. If they like, they can take it. If they don't like, they cannot take it. Whatever in my limits, I will do. Things are not happening in my boundary, I cannot do. Right? So you will take all the orders, but as long as inventory is not available, you cannot take the orders, right? So his vision was don't update the inventory after the post payment. You update afterwards. And this challenge is given to IT. Hey, IT team, do a small change for me immediately. What is the change? Currently, during post payment, you are doing these things. What you are doing after post payment? You are sending email to customer. You are sending SMS to customer. You are starting the shipment process. You are updating the inventory. What I am telling is don't update the inventory immediately. Okay? Don't update the inventory immediately. Update at later point. You update whenever you require. Okay? Then IT team will ask you at what time I need to update. Okay. When customer receives the product. For example, if customer cancels the product, right? I ordered it, I cancel it, right? So what the business guy is thinking? Once the shipment is completed, once the customer took the product, shipment is completed. Once the shipment is completed, okay? At that time, once the shipment is completed, at that time, you take care of this. So that is the change he has given. Let me repeat here, guys. What is proposing the logic here? What logic is proposing? Please remove the updating of inventory portion. Please remove the updating of inventory portion during post payment and do the same work at the time of shipment. Once the shipment is done, once the shipment is completed, do that particular process here. Once the shipment is completed, do that process here. That is what SC. Okay. So what is the change I need to do here? Now I need to IT team should analyze that, right, guys? IT team should analyze this. They need to stop this guy first. They need to stop this guy. Right? After that, within shipment service.java. After that, what I need to do here? Shipment service.java, where start shipment API. Shipment service.java, where we can have a start shipment API. Within start shipment API. Okay. By default, what I am trying to say here, if order object dot get shipment object dot get status is equal to shipped, then what I need to do here, rest template dot exchange of http amazon.com:9090 stock service update inventory. This is what I need to do here. Right, sir? On a code point of view or a technical point of view, this is what I need to do here. What I need to do here on the change, order service on post payment, I need to on order service, I need to post payment on this. I need to stop the inventory over here. I need to stop that particular call. In the shipment service, we need to do this particular thing. What is the impact to the business, guys? What exactly the impact? We need to stop the order service. We need to start the we need to stop the shipment service, right? Because order service code will be changed. Shipment service code will be changed. We need to stop the order microservice and need to deploy a new order microservice without having stock service in the code. I need to build a shipment microservice, which should again, with a new code of shipment service, it should do that with a new code. Okay. But can customer agree this? Because what is microservices? The microservices means is high availability to the business. We are providing high availability to the business. Even though one portion of the business is not working, there is no impact to others. Microservice architecture is that only, guys. Even though one portion of the course is not working, okay? Even though one portion of the code is not at all working, by default, it should not break the flow here. By default, it should not break the flow over here. It should not break the flow over here. Once the flow is not at all impacted, it should not break the flow at any point of time here. If order service is stopped, entire ordering flow is stopped, right, guys? I want to stop. I want to build a new order microservice. 20 minutes or 30 minutes is the time it's going to take. In the 20 to 30 minutes, my entire ordering is stopped. It's a big loss. It's a very heavy loss. Customer will not agree. Customer is not going to agree on this, guys. Customer is not at all going to be agreed on this actually. Customer is not going to get agreed on this particular point here. In order microservice is not agreed. In payment microservice is not going to agree here. Okay. What do you want? You start shipment, you stop shipment, no issues. Order microservice you should not touch. Because if ordering service is stopped, it will impact the entire business flow here. It is going to impact the entire business flow over here. It's going to impact the entire business flow over here. So then comes to the problem with the architecture. That is the use case. What is the initiation of event-driven architecture? This is the problem in the business. I can tell in one word, but I want to explain a scenario. I want to change the business format, but I should not have a business impact. If order microservice is stopped, it will stop the entire business, guys. If order microservice is stopped, entire business will be stopped. I don't want to stop the order microservice at all. But I want to achieve this kind of scenario. What is the problem with this architecture? Order microservices tightly coupled to email microservice. Order microservice is tightly coupled to SMS microservice. Order microservice is tightly coupled to shipment microservice. Order microservice is tightly coupled to stock microservice. A tight coupling nature. Order microservice should know that it should call email, it should call SMS, it should call shipment, it should call stock. Order microservice is going to call email, order microservice is going to call SMS, order microservice is going to call shipment. A tight coupling bonding is available. A tight coupling bonding is available between order microservice and this. A tight coupling nature will be there between these microservices. Now I want to achieve a loosely coupling architecture. I want to achieve a loosely coupling architecture. Okay? You understood the problem with the architecture, guys? Order microservice is tightly coupled to stock microservice, email microservice, SMS microservice, shipment microservice. Any change in order microservice should be stopped. If order microservice is stopped, it will stop the entire business. This is the problematic situation in this kind of architecture. Everyone is clear on the problem, guys? Is everyone is clear on the problem, whatever I proposed here? The solution is this one. This is the solution, guys. What is the solution here? Once order microservice completes its payment, once order microservices completes its payment, I will keep a queue. Okay? Queue. I will keep a queue. The functionality of order microservices, hey, payment is completed. Please update the data to the queue. That's it. Order microservice logic is update the information to the queue. You please update to queue. What is the queue? My order 1, payment is completed. Who is placed this order? Mr. Vijay. iPhone. That's it. Update this information to queue here. Once order microservice completes its payment, I need to update this information to queue. In the background, stock microservice can listen to the queue. Email microservice can listen to the queue. SMS microservice can listen to the queue. And package microservice is listen to the queue. All these are going to listen to the queue here. Okay? As long as item is placed into the queue, email will be processed, SMS will be processed, package will be processed, and stock will be processed here. Okay? So, order microservice is nowhere related to these microservices. These microservices are nowhere related to order microservice. Understand? Achieving a loosely coupling architecture. Achieving a loosely coupled. What is the meaning of loosely coupled? What is the achieving of loosely coupled? If any change in order service, no impact to order service. Any change in order service, no impact to order service. I am not writing the business flow within order service. I am not calling stock service. I am not calling email service. I am not calling SMS service. I am not calling package service. I am not at all doing that. I am not at all doing that. Okay? I am not at all doing that. Order service duty is to push the data to the queue. To push the data to the queue. I am not bothered about it. And queue will take care of these. Same like a loosely coupled architecture. Mr. Vijay is teaching today workshop. I am the presenter. You are the listener. Did I told everyone today I am going to have a workshop on this today? No, right? I posted this information to Ashok IT. I posted this information to Ashok IT. Hey, Ashok IT team, I want to present this topic tomorrow. And Ashok IT put this in a social media platform and all the other available channels. And you people consume this information and you join the class. Do I have a direct relationship with you? Do you have a direct relationship with me? You don't know, I don't know. But we are communicating with each other. Am I right? Is this kind of a loosely coupled architecture, right, guys? What is the meaning of loosely coupled architecture? Order microservice is not going to talk to any of the microservices. It's the duty of the order microservices to push the data to the queue. To push the data to the queue is the duty of a microservice, and all the microservices are listening to that particular queue here. All the other microservices are listening to that particular queue here. All the other microservices are listening to the queue over here, guys. So this is a typically on the. So what is the event here? What exactly an event here? Posting the data to the queue. Once order microservice completes the payment, posting the data to the queue is an event. Listening the data from the queue is an event. Posting the data to the queue is an event. Listening the data from the queue is an event. Event is through queue. Event is through queue here. Posting the data to the queue is an event, and listening the data from the queue is an event. through event-driven architecture, we can achieve loosely coupling nature. Okay. So this is the real use case. What I mentioned just now when the class is started, I mentioned, right? Okay. What is the use of event-driven architecture? If I don't have event-driven architecture, what is the problem in microservice architecture? If we have event-driven architecture, what is the advantage of microservices? Right? So if you don't have event-driven architecture, we cannot achieve loosely coupled nature. We cannot achieve loosely coupled nature. And in a critical business flow, where a business logic microservice, if any changes comes in the business flow, the respective microservice is impacted. If the respective microservice impacted, other areas also impacted. Even though they are up, the other services are also impacted. That is the point here. Applying event-driven architecture in case of microservices. This is the this is the point here where I'm going to show this here. Okay. So what exactly I'm going to have here? We are going to place a queue over here. Okay. So what is the architecture over here, guys? What is the proposed architecture now? What is the proposed architecture? The proposed architecture is order microservice.java post payment. Inside the post payment, if ord dot get payment object dot get status is equal to success. Where we need to write q dot send order object. Q dot send is an order object. Order microservice dot java post payment. If order payment is getting success, q dot send, so that this information is posted to a queue here. This information posted to a queue here. And this order object, we can call this as a queue. This we call this information as a queue. So what is my order object here? Customer name Vijay, iPhone, email, SMS, zip code, something like that. We are going to have some information. Okay. So whenever we are doing like this, it is going to post the data like this. And all microservices. What are the 4 microservices, guys, here? 4 microservices. It's going to listen the data from the queue, which is email, microservice, SMS microservice. Shipment microservice. Stock. Okay. By default, this is going to listen and it is going to send an email. It is going to be listen and start sending SMS. Next, it's going to process shipment. So this is a typical architecture, guys. Here, this is going to be typical architecture. Any change in the business flow nowhere impacted to order microservice. In this way, we are achieving a loosely coupled architecture. In this way, we are going to achieve loosely coupled architecture. Okay. Now, what is the change here? My change is we don't want to call the stock service after the payment is completed. Now I no need to stop my order service, right, guys? Do I need to stop my order service? Only I need to remove this binding. I need to remove this relationship. I need to remove this relationship. Where I need to keep the relationship here? Right? I need to keep the relationship over there. Shipment microservice can call the stock microservice. That's it. No impact to order microservice, guys. There is no impact to order microservice. This is how achieving loosely coupled nature here. This is how achieving the loosely coupled nature over here, guys. Okay. Now, which data structure queue? There are a lot of providers are available in our Java, like JMS, Java Messaging System, Kafka, Apache Kafka, Rabbit MQ, Active MQ, IBM queues. Lot of things are there. These are the things I'm getting as of now. Okay. JMS, Kafka, RabbitMQ, ActiveMQ, IBM queues. All these are things are available here. Okay. But where in this case, I don't want a single queue here. If a queue is what? First come, first in, first out. Once email service took the data from the queue, is it available? Shipment cannot take that. SMS cannot take that. Stock cannot take that. Okay. Technically, one queue is not sufficient. Technically, one queue is not going to be sufficient here. Okay. RabbitMQ specially provides. RabbitMQ specially provides. Okay. What it provides? Unicasting, multicasting, broadcasting. Unicasting, multicasting, broadcasting. RabbitMQ will have a workflow, guys. It has workflows. Unicasting workflows, multicasting workflows, as well as broadcasting workflows here. Okay. If you want to send a message to a single queue, You can take unicasting workflow. If you want to send a message to more than one queue, you can take multicasting workflow. You want to send a message to all the queues, broadcasting microservices. Unicasting, multicasting, broadcasting. All these workflows which I need to use here. Okay. So what exactly, I mean, I don't want to go to the RabbitMQ and the architecture guys here. The architecture of RabbitMQ is this. Okay. Where a Spring Boot application is giving some employee object. Guys. A Spring Boot application is giving employee object. I will never send the queue name. Do I need to send to Q1 or do I need to send Q2? I don't want to send the queue name. I will give the message to exchange, unicast exchange, multicast exchange, or broadcasting exchange. Right, guys? Okay. What is the use here? If I send a queue name, right? For example, sir, I'm sending a queue name here. I'm sending a queue name here. What's going to happen if I send a queue name here? If I take any other architecture, if I start sending queue name, what's going to happen, guys, here? If order object dot get payment object dot get status is equal to success. If I'm sending email queue dot send order object, SMS queue dot send order object, shipment queue dot send order object, stock queue dot send order object. If I do like this, again it's a tightly coupled, right? If I do like this, again it's a tightly coupled, right? Again I need to stop the stock queue, right? So that's why RabbitMQ is providing a workflow system where I can create a payment exchange. In RabbitMQ, I can create a payment exchange, post payment exchange. I mean, exchange name can be anything here. Post payment exchange, which is called as broadcasting. Broadcasting. I can define this. And all queues here. All these queues here. All these queues are binded to this email queue, SMS queue, as well as shipment queue. Once I post this information, I don't want to write a code like this. I don't want to do a code like this. What I want to do here, I will write post payment dot exchange. Going to write here post payment hyphen exchange dot send ORD object. I'm going to write a code like this. And this is going to, I will only tell guys, hey RabbitMQ, I created a post payment exchange and I have 4 queues are there in that exchange. Email, SMS, shipment, and stock. Please send this information to all the queues. Tomorrow, if stock service is removed, no impact to me. I will go to post payment exchange flow. I will do that particular change here. This is where RabbitMQ is providing a great feature of unicasting, multicasting, broadcasting, which I'll go in deep in my regular classes. I'll tell you a regular example. What is a RabbitMQ? What is a Kafka? And all those things I'll cover in more in my regular classes. But in this scenario, RabbitMQ best fit where I can create an exchange. The beauty of RabbitMQ is we will never mention the queue name, guys. We will never mention the queue name. I will only tell the exchange name. Exchange will have a binding and that binding will send the data to the queue. Exchange will have a binding. That binding will give the data to the queue here. Okay. So this is a scenario, guys, here. I hope everyone got a clarity. Okay. Everyone got a clarity here. Now I will go to the coding point of view, guys. Let me go to the code part of it, everyone, guys. Okay. Right. Here. So as part of my agenda, sir, we got overview of event-driven architecture. We got it. And can we apply event-driven? We got the answer. To achieve a loosely coupled architecture, we used it. And we have taken e-commerce framework use case. So first three topics are completed as part of my agenda, guys. Okay. So if you have any questions, post in the chat window. I will take it up at appropriate time. Okay. Next, I'm going to showcase on a code point of view, guys. Okay. So here on a coding point of view, I have total I'll zoom this. You have seen, sir, email service, order service, shipment service, SMS service, stock service, workflow configuration. Workflow configuration. That's what I told, right? We are going to create a workflow that is binded to email, shipment, SMS, and stock. That's a workflow. Any change in the workflow, only workflow service will be impacted. Order service will not be impacted at all. This is my project structure, guys, here. Okay. Right here. Now, what I'm going to do here, inside workflow, we are going to take in the pom.xml. Sir, to have a code walkthrough, you should have an idea on SpringBoot, guys. We are taking AMQP. This is a dependency to work with RabbitMQ. AMQP, asynchronous message queue processing. This is a dependency we need to add. In RabbitMQ, we define 4 queues, guys, here. Email queue, stock queue, SMS queue, and shipment queue. These are the 4 queues I defined. And we define a exchange, which is broadcasting. We call that as a fan-out exchange, guys, in RabbitMQ. These things I'll explain in real time, my regular classes. Fan-out exchange I'm going to take, where I'm going to create a payment exchange here. I'm going to create a payment exchange where I'll bind to this exchange stock queue, email queue, SMS queue, and shipment queue. All these 4 queues I binded to that exchange. Okay. Stock queue, email queue, SMS queue, and shipment queue. All these 4 queues I binded. So as part of the workflow, guys, I created 4 queues. And I created a workflow, payment exchange, and I binded all these 4 queues to the same workflow here. And I will connect it to RabbitMQ template. Any message I'm going to use, I'll convert into JSON. I no need to write a code here. Simply JSON, Jackson library. So these things you need some knowledge, guys, here. This is about workflow configuration. Okay. Now order service, our regular service here, guys. As long as I'm making post payment, my order object here is order ID, email ID, product ID, mobile number, shipper, shipment state, zip code. This is my JSON object which I have, which will communicate on post payment exchange, guys, which is going to communicate on post payment exchange order ID, email ID, product ID, mobile number, shipper and shipment state, as well as zip code. These are all the things are related to my order. So once the post payment is done, I'm telling this is the beautiful code, sir. Please see, sir. I want to send to payment exchange, guys. I'm sending to payment exchange. This is what I told in the architectural diagram. I'm not writing a code to queues. I'm writing a RabbitMQ. You send this order object to payment exchange. That's it. This is the order service microservice logic here. This is typically order microservice logic over here, guys. Okay. This is typically order microservice logic over here, guys. Any change in the workflow, it will not impact this code. My order service always running. My order service always running. My business always be running. Okay. So this is about order microservice. After that, now regular service, right, guys? Email service. As long as I got email queue, once ever I got email queue, Rabbit listener is going to listen and it is going to call, successfully send the customer for the order ID for the email ID. Generally in real time, we'll write a code for sending email, our SMPS settings, and where we'll write the code. But here I'm not writing that kind of code here. Once a data comes to the email queue, Rabbit listener is going to read that. Rabbit handler is going to call. No one will call payment received event dot receive message. No one will call this. As long as order microservice is pushing the data to the queue and email microservice receives the data, this method will be automatically executed. This method will be automatically executed. That's the email queue as well as SMS queue. SMS queue successfully sent SMS to the customer for the order ID and the mobile number. Email is done. SMS is done. Stock. Stock queue and successfully process stock update for the order ID, for the product ID. And finally, last but not least, shipment. Successfully start the shipment here. This is what our code. Now what I'll do, sir, I'll start it because I'll show the execution also, guys, here. So let me start my workflow, sir. Let me start my workflow here. Yes. So whenever it started, it created stock queue, email queue, SMS queue, shipment queue. So you will see that here. Localhost 15672. This is a UI. You're able to see queues, email queue, SMS queue, shipment queue, and stock queue. If you go to email queue, it is binded to payment exchange. You're able to see that? SMS queue, it will bind to payment exchange. Shipment queue, stock queue. This is right. Now, if you go to exchanges, payment exchange, you'll see, guys, email queue, SMS queue, shipment queue, and stock queue. You're able to see that? Right. Now, as of now, I don't have any data over here. Now, let me start other microservices also. So I started workflow, sir. Let me start order microservice. Let me start email microservice. Let me start shipment microservice. Let me start SMS microservice. Let me start stock microservice. So we are going to stop. We are going to start all the microservices, guys. Order microservice. I need to clear all the consoles. So all are started. Workflow is started. Order is started. Email is started. Shipment is started. SMS is started. Stock service is started. All are started, guys. Now, this is my order microservice, guys, which is listening on port number 8080. Okay. And this is my data here. Order processing post payment with the request body as an order object. You should have some idea on Spring Boot, guys, to understand this post case 8080 order processing post payment. Order ID is 1. Okay. Vijay@gmail.com. Apple, iPhone. Blue Dot Courier shipped and zip code 5,37. This is my JSON data which I captured over here. Make sense? Now I'm sending message sent to the RabbitMQ successfully. Now you'll see, guys, here all the messages are dropped. I mean, they sent and they dropped it here. Now you see a console here, guys. First one, order microservice. It make a connection and it sent. Successfully sent email to the customer for the order ID 1, email ID vijay@gmail.com. It sent an email. You saw event? So this is what I printed in the email service. Automatically call, right, guys? And I'll showcase SMS service. Successfully started shipment service for the order ID, customer zip code. This is what shipment service. Right? After that, SMS service. Successfully sent SMS for the order ID. Which is successfully sent SMS for the order ID. And stock service. Successfully process the stock update for the Apple iPhone. Right, sir? Now, this is the regular flow, sir. Now, what I want to do, sir? I want to change this, guys. I have a business decision, right? What I want to do here, I will remove the event. I will remove the workflow to stock. I need to remove. This I need to remove. I need to keep from shipment. But I don't want to touch order service. Right? Now, which one I will stop, guys? Please see here. I am only stopping workflow. I am only stopping workflow microservice. I have not stopped anything here. Inside workflow, you see the change, how I am going to do, sir. Inside workflow, I should keep the same queues here. Same queues I should keep here. But here, I need to create one more exchange, guys, here. I need to create two exchanges here. One is called as a fan out, which is right. Stock exchange, I want to read. Okay. What I want to do here, I will remove the stock binding, old binding. I need to remove this. Previously, this stock queue is binded to payment exchange. Now I am creating a new exchange. Okay. Which I need to bind over here. I need to bind to new exchange. That's what I need to do that, right? I commented the stock queue from the regular exchange. I added a new exchange and I bind to that new exchange. And you can do this from here also, guys. Where I'll go to stock queue. I need to unbind this also. I can do this. Okay. Now, this is one change I need to do here. Another change is what? Shipment service, right, guys? I need to add a code here. If order status dot shipment status is equal to shipped, sending the data to stock service and stock exchange I need to send. Whatever the exchange I told right here, that exchange I need to send. This is a new code which I added. So we need to stop. What are the things I told, guys? We need to stop shipment service. We need to start this service. But order service is nowhere stopped here. Now, that's it. My job is over. Now, let me start my workflow service here. Let me start my workflow service here. I did the change. I removed the previous binding. I'm keeping a new binding. And let me start here. Now it started here, guys. Now you will see the binding over here, guys. Email queue, payment exchange, correct. SMS queue, payment exchange, shipment queue, payment exchange. But whereas stock queue, it should have a stock exchange. You saw previously it is payment exchange. Now it changed, right? If you go to exchanges, now payment exchange is only having 3 queues: email queue, SMS queue, shipment queue. You saw that only 3 queues are there. Whereas stock exchange is going to have only stock queue, which is clearly there. Are you able to see that, guys? Right. Now I'll send the same data. Maybe shipment automatically started, sir, here. I feel shipment service is started because I didn't stop it. Automatically it started, guys, here. Okay. Now I'm taking a one more order. Order ID 2. Ashok@gmail.com. Samsung Galaxy. Five lakhs. Right. So, sir, I didn't stop my order service, sir. I didn't stop my order service. I only stopped workflow and shipment. Rest of the services are all there. Yes, it sent successfully. Now you'll see one by one here. Ashok@gmail.com. It sent. It sent an SMS to 4442s. Stock service is called Samsung Galaxy updated. Now shipment microservice successfully started shipment. After that, it called, right? Sending the data to the stock service. And it started. Without stopping my order microservice, I was able to achieve this particular complete workflow just with using of event-driven architecture. For example, if the product is not shipped in the transit state, I'm taking one more order 3. My phone. Then it will not going to call stock service, guys, because the order is in transit mode. You see here, guys, it's sent to Ashok. If you go to shipment, only it will not, it didn't add a code to stock service. Stock service didn't called, guys, here. You see here, Samsung Galaxy only there. My phone is not there because it's not processed. Whenever it's shipped, that time only it will update the stock service. So this is the complete use case execution code walk. Okay. So this is what aligned for today's webinar or workshop, whatever the things here. So far, what we understand is we're able to follow event-driven architecture. What is the use of event-driven architecture in microservices? And we have taken e-commerce framework example, and we have seen the code, and we have seen the execution. This is what aligned for my side. Yep. Abdul is asking question, if there is a failure in message. Sir, there are only options, sir. If there is a failure, you need to re-queue again. Or else, you need to have a cron job to process asynchronously. You need to re-queue again. Or if there is a failure, you need to push into dead letter queue. DLQ is there. That is also possible. Or you can create a cron job. You can retry. or you can use a circuit breaker retry. There are a lot of options are available, but the best possible option is requeue. Okay, right. There's a question, Abdul. Are you a thing? Yep. Any other questions or anyone, guys? Right. So, guys, everyone, I mentioned here, guys, please follow our WhatsApp community, guys, here. Please follow our WhatsApp community. Okay. And you'll get tuned on those things. And on 1st of September, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., my new batch on SpringBoot and microservices will be started. And design pattern batches will be started in 2nd week of September or something like that. 2nd or 3rd week of September, it will be started. I'll keep you. Okay. You'll get updates related to Mr. Vijay Kumar sessions on the WhatsApp community. Yep. Retry mechanism is the best option, sir. But if you retry the failure, again, retry will come, right? You need to correct the code, right? So that's why to have a cron job where you need to correct the code and you can retry after 1 hour. But yeah, retry, it depends on scenario, sir. For example, payment gateway is there, sir. Now currently it's failed. But after 1 hour, it may upright, sir. At that time, retry is used. For example, there is a problem in the code itself, where in the workflow, I can change the things here. So maximum retry is the best option. Requeuing is another option. These are the options based on scenario. Okay. Yes. Any other question, guys? And I'm thankful to everyone, guys, listening to me for the last 2 hours almost. Okay. And thankful for everyone for listening to me. And I hope, yeah, we'll be share this code in a Git link and we'll share to Ashok IT website. Okay. We'll share this code, guys. Okay. So I hope definitely this workshop or webinar is helpful for you. Definitely you learned something as part of your career. And I feel something like useful for you. That's what I feel. And always Ashok IT is always do our services in favor to all the participants, job seekers and students who just completed their graduation and everyone. We are always try our level best possibility to make what we can do, how we can provide better services. Okay. And any suggestions, anyone, guys, okay, reach out to us, drop an email to us. Okay. Right, sir. Yeah. Vijay is asking, yes, choreography flow. Yeah, that is a choreography and orchestration, sir. These are for Saga design patterns. Saga, choreography and orchestration. But that is Saga is mainly useful for what? In transaction management to correct the data. But yes, we can implement choreography also as part of this data pattern. But here in a choreography like that, like this simple with RabbitMQ, how simple I wrote a code without any complexity. In choreography, if you want to do, lot of complexity will be there here. So the best way to use RabbitMQ, where we can achieve simple code, any new person can understand. But choreography is little bit difficult to understand. So you can use, but this is also one of the best options. Yes. When to use ActiveMQ, RabbitMQ, Kafka. Active, it all depends on the load, sir. Kafka mainly useful for unicasting. It's open source. RabbitMQ licensed but nominal license cost. ActiveMQ is if you don't have much load and you want open source, you can use ActiveMQ. So we cannot predict like that. Most of the people, they will go with their own assumptions. Okay. But especially if you want to use multicasting or broadcasting, RabbitMQ is the best option. Okay. Okay, fine. I'm thankful for everyone for attending this session, guys. Stay tuned and for the new updates from these things. And I may conduct one more workshop uh, in upcoming days. And definitely, I this time again will get back to you with a new good topic and we'll implement it. Okay. Thanks, everyone, guys. Have a great day. Okay. Yeah. Multicasting and broadcasting mean as per queue. Yes, Abdul. Multicasting is just like say WhatsApp, right? If you want to send a message to more than one people, you'll create a group or you'll broadcast, right? Same way here also. Okay. You'll send the data to the workflow system. That workflow system will send the data to the queues. That is the meaning of broadcast. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Thank you.